Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Culver. I'm married to Kelly Culver. We have 3 children, Ben, Sophie, and Josh. And I am delighted and thankful that the parish asked me to talk today about fatherhood with a little bit on being a foster father. First off, I'd like to say happy Thanksgiving. That's this week. I did go back and watch the previous videos on fatherhood, and I just have to say I couldn't agree more with all the things that have been said. Fatherhood in some ways actually begins in sacrificial love. It's not a giving out of your excess, it's a giving out of your core. As you do that, there is tons of mistakes to be made. But it's not just mistakes ending, it's learning from your mistakes, engaging your mistakes, and with humility becoming a different and a better person for yourself and for your children. And it's also taking a sense of joy in that experience. There is a ton of joy in being a fatherhood, not because it's perfect, but because it's real life. The lows can be low, and the highs can be high, and there's really nothing like it. It is life to the full, as Jesus would say. The only thing that I would have added to the list is that fathers love their wives. And I think that is an incredible gift that they give not only to their wives, but they also give to their children. And it is a deep love that stands by your wife no matter what, through thick and thin, whether you agree or disagree, whether you're happy or sad. It is really that gift of seeing a full other person and saying yes. And I think that's important because kids, when you relate with them, are not on equal partnership with you. And so you have a lot of advantages that with kids that you don't have with your wives. But giving them that example of what it means to love a full person is also a real important part of being a father. Kelly and I are foster parents, and one of the things I was asked is to talk a little bit about being a foster father. And in some ways, I don't think it's much different than being a regular father. Our oldest is off in grad school, so like Mr. Gnome, we have kind of gone through some of the different stages of having little kids to middle-aged kids to sending them off and kind of letting them become their own men and women. I think on the foster father level, it's all of that, just to a different level. When you're dealing with your own kids, there is that sense of ownership, and you can take some sense of pride in that they're almost an extension of you. And that's probably the only difference I see with being a foster father, is that with your foster children, you love them, you want the best for them, you are working as hard as you can for them, but you don't have the level of ownership that really makes the family so important. But it doesn't make the family impossible. You're dealing with different sets of parents, sometimes more than one set of parents. You're dealing with DCS, which is an animal all unto itself. And so it's kind of like being a dad, but a dad and more. And it really calls you to a deeper sense of commitment. And so all those gifts that you bring to being a father to your own children need to come forth. It's just that you don't do them with the sense of ownership. You know, the foster kids in our house are not Culvers, but they're wonderful people, and their families have gifts to offer them. And trying to help them see that love and commitment, to see that grace of who they are, to see they're loved by God, is still really an important part about fatherhood. And I think when Father talked about, you don't have to be a biological father to be a dad, that is also true in being a foster father. But it doesn't make it a fundamentally different practice. Another thing that I would add to the list that I didn't see, and not just only in foster father, but even in raising my own kids, is that fathers are men committed to prayer. The job that we have is a big task. It requires a lot of self-sacrifice. It also requires a lot of patience, humility, and the ability to just actually be joyful. And in all of those things, you need a basis, and you need the grace of God. And so I'd like to finish that, I think, in rather being a regular dad or a foster dad, we need to be committed to prayer, not just going to Mass every Sunday, but that prayer every day as you pray for your children and all the other things that you are concerned about, that you can bring them together in a way that is a wonderful example for all the children that have been given in your care. Again, it's Thanksgiving time, and I think we'll just also use this week to say thanks to all the dads out there. Continue to make mistakes, continue to be joyful, continue to give of yourself in ways that you never thought you could, and all of that goes to God in prayer, thanksgiving, and grace. And thank you for listening, and take care, and God bless.